Hello, everyone.
All
Welcome
right.
to a new episode. All right. Today's the day. We're revisiting Black Panther. So, this episode will get you prepared for Wakanda Forever when it comes out November 11th. So, we're going to do, a little review
Yeah,
of Black Panther.
right. We're not going to go through all of the film, but just some highlights of the film, some of our favorite moments, some of the things that resonate with us when we saw it. Just to go back a little bit, we did watch the movie this past
Again,
weekend, right? So we've seen it more than once. So we like if you can just comment about what this film Black Panther means to you. When did you see it? What did you like about it? What you did not like about it? You can also share that and just let us know. Let's just have a conversation, a
I don't think
dialogue.
there's anything people didn't like about Black Panther, though.
Well, good. Let's see who and okay, we'll continue to talk about it. We'll recognize the people who are in the room. So thank you very much. So let's just talk about Black Panther, right? So you're right. So Wakanda Forever is coming out November 11th. We have our tickets already,
Yep,
right?
opening day.
All right, so can't wait. So Black Panther came out in 2018. It was directed by Ryan Coogler, written by Ryan Coogler and Joe Robert Cole, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the film starts off with the king,
T'Chaka.
T'Chaka, right, is telling a story to his young son, T'Challa, right? A story about Wakanda's history. Now, a meteorite made of
Made of
vibranium
vibranium,
lands on
landed in
Africa,
Africa.
right? Okay, you want
And
to
the
do that?
area was called Wakanda.
Yes.
So one of the settlers was led by the goddess Bast to the heart-shaped herb,
Mm-hmm.
and the herb gave him powers, and this person thus became the first Black Panther,
That's right.
who was the first ruler of Wakanda. The country used the vibranium to create resources and made Wakanda a powerful nation. But
Exactly.
the ruler did not want to share the technology with other countries, so they kept secret. They hid in plain sight.
That's right. And that just sets up the story incredibly because we know the history, we know about vibranium, what it does, and we know that Wakanda is a place of resources and technology that, most people around the world don't know
Wakanda
about,
forever.
right? And they don't want to share it. And then we'll go into details as to why they don't want to share it and the controversy regarding whether they should share their technology and resources to the rest of the world or they should keep it to themselves. All right. So, scene picks up in 1992, Oakland, California. All right.
So King T'Chaka pays his brother Njobu a visit, and apparently my man was helping Ulysses Claw to steal vibranium and import it to America from Wakanda.
Exactly.
And things got ugly real quick, and let's just say three went in, two came out.
Okay. All right. And Najabu is played by Sterling K. Brown. He's a fantastic actor. I remember hearing that he was cast in the film, but they never told us who he was going to play. And then,
Kind of got a menial role.
well,
Not
it's
menial because he was important, but he got screen
absolutely,
time.
yeah, absolutely important. So we didn't know until we saw him on the screen at the beginning of the film. It's fantastic. And then we saw the ship, right, take off through the night skies, and we saw a couple of kids on the basketball court looking up. And one of them apparently, we'll talk about who that person was a little bit later in the film. All right. So the movie then picks up with T'Challa returning home because of the passing of his father.
Yeah, you remember that UN bombing in the Civil War.
Yeah.
Curse you, Nemo! Anyway,
Hmm.
now T'Challa is taking over the throne, but he gets challenged by M'Baku of the Jabari tribe. And the Jabari tribe has been really isolated from the other tribes because, they decided they didn't want to live with a ruler and they just went off for themselves.
Hmm. Yeah. So there are these five tribes in Wakanda. They don't always get along, and the Jabari tribe is probably the one that has the most
The most,
strain.
yeah.
Yeah, they're very well.
Estranged.
It's
Like that one cousin at the family reunion that you hate talking to and you never see except for those couple of
yeah,
minutes.
right, exactly. But there's an explanation as to why. It's explained later in the film. But yes, so that's what happens. So that's how it works when Perchins it's time for a person to become king. They have to be challenged. Well, they don't have to be challenged, but if they are challenged, they have to win, right? And M'Baku was a very big opponent, but T'Challa came out victorious. All right. So just thank you,
All right,
Alex. Thank you for joining
Alex,
us.
for
Happy
joining.
Thursday to you. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so we're in the middle of talking about if you see Black Panther, of course, let us know if you've seen it. It's
If not, you're missing
it's
out.
all spoilers, obviously. So we're so T'Challa wins the challenge. He becomes king, and then what happens is how the Black Panther gets powers.
Is the heart-shaped herb.
Right, the
So
heart-shaped herb,
fought,
as we heard at
when
the beginning.
he fought, he was stripped of the herb.
That's true.
So
right.
that afterwards, when he came in, sorry, when he came in afterwards the fight and became the king, he then took the heart-shaped herb again and was sent to the ancestral plane.
Yes,
where he met up with his father T'Chaka again.
Yeah, it's a beautiful scene. Father and son meeting again in the afterworld, and T'Challa is concerned. Like he's afraid. He just doesn't know
what to do.
Not that he doesn't know how to be king, but he
he's
just
not
doesn't
ready
know
to go without his father.
Right. Yes, he misses his father. So T'Challa asked his father, "Well, how do I help Wakanda?" And his father was very straight with him, and he said that you're going to struggle. Thanks, Keith. You're going to struggle. Surround yourself with people you trust. You're a good man with a good heart. It's hard for a good man to be king. All right. So those are the words of his father. And then he comes back from his visit.
Yeah, just kind of bounces out the dirt.
Right. Yes, exactly. So now he has the power of the Black Panther. Mm-hmm. And there's a scene. It's a very, what I find in this movie, that each scene has meaning to it. It brings something, like we talk about dialogue, like.
Except for that fight scene. That fight scene had a meaning of action.
Right. Yes. Right. But if you're listening to a dialogue, a very well written story, you're going to know more about the character through what they say. All right. So there's a scene with T'Challa and Nakia. Nakia is someone he's very close to. At the beginning of the film, we didn't bring this up, but he wanted to bring her back to Wakanda because he wanted Nakia to be at her side. He wanted Nakia to be on his side. At his side for his father's passing. So they're having a conversation, Nakia and T'Challa, and Nakia is mentioning to him that, we are very, we're very fortunate to have these resources for Wakanda, and we should be sharing it with other people around the world. We should open refugee programs to other countries. We can provide aid to other countries. T'Challa's not there yet. He said, well, I'm not sure. Because exactly, because once you let people in,
they're going to start taking more than they
need. It really opens the door for people who take advantage of Wakanda.
Start stealing your stuff.
Yes. Now, speaking of claw, we move on to London, right? So we're in a museum and we see Eric Killmonger, right? He's in the museum, he's looking at pieces, he's asking questions to the curator about where this piece is from, the origin of this piece. And, she made a mistake and said one of the pieces that were actually from Wakanda came from a European country, which is not the case.
Yeah, because they stole it.
Right, exactly. And all this was a play because he actually wanted to steal these artifacts made of vibranium. So he puts something in her drink. She falls out.
And she is KO'd.
Yeah, and here comes Claw, dressed as an EMT.
Acting like he's an EMT.
Right.
Takes that lady, or pretends to.
Yeah.
And then, Claw just starts shooting him up. And then he leaves one dude. And he's like, you can go, but don't tell anyone about this. And then shoots him in the back. And I'm like, bro, why? Right, Come on.
Yeah.
You should have just let the man go.
Right. Yeah. He just wanted to spread things around. So we invite you, if you're listening, please write in and let us know about the film.
You guys viewing, let us know in the live chat, or if you're watching this afterwards, let us know in the comment section.
Yes, let us know what you think of the film, or talk about any favorite scenes. Let's have a dialogue. We don't want it to just be the two of us talking.
Yeah, these live streams aren't meant to be monologues or dialogue, so there's two of us.
Exactly.
But we want to hear some viewer participation.
Yes. Yes. All right. Okay. All right. So then this heist in London has taken place. The incident goes back to Wakanda, and it turns out that Claw, Ulysses Claw, which by the way we saw him first in
Age
Age
of
of
Ultron.
Ultron, right? Okay.
Ultron kind of removed his hand.
Yes, right. He had his hand removed and replaced with a hand of vibranium, which he does use from time to time.
And stole.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So they found out that it was Claw who was behind this theft, and that he was going to be seen in South Korea, right? Busan. And he is planning to sell some of this vibranium to a U.S. buyer in another country. All right. So, of course, the child said, his father's been trying to find Claw for many years, and that's one of the regrets that he had, that he was never able to get Claw. So they come together, Okoye and Nakia, T'Challa, and they head to Busan, South Asia.
All right. So quick brief Q&A.
Yes.
Alex, I like the debate in the film about whether to open Wakanda up or to continue isolation. Great points made for both sides.
Yes,
true.
Very good. Yes, a very good point. Yeah. So South Korea. So before they get to South Korea, T'Challa has to get himself equipped, right? So he has to have the latest equipment. And
so he, heads to the one person who can help him.
That's right. He heads to the lab. Yes. So Shuri, his younger sister, she is a tech wizard. She's a scientist. She knows everything about technology.
Like me, but like 10 years older with way more cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, that will be you in 10 more years. Exactly.
Yeah. If you send me to MIT or something.
Yeah. If we send you to MIT, oh yeah, absolutely. You get accepted, you're going. All right. If you're
MIT, if you're listening, please.
You never know. If you're a James Bond fan, this feels like a Bond and Q moment. There's always a scene, most of the films, there's a scene where Bond, right before he goes on his mission, he goes to Q, who is quartermaster. He is the tech person. He has all the equipment that Bond needs to get himself prepared for the mission. So if anything were to happen, anything were to go down, he's got the equipment to escape anything, to save his life, save the lives of other people. So this felt like, Bond, T'Challa, and Shuri's Q. So this was, I really enjoyed the scene, and she made him a new suit where he doesn't have to.
He really needed a new
suit. Where he doesn't have to wear a helmet. It's actually motion controlled. So that was pretty cool. So he's equipped. They're on their way now to South Korea. Again, another James Bond scene. So if you go into the casino, it feels like, if you've seen these James Bond films, let me know. But, it felt a little bit like Casino Royale. It felt a little bit like Skyfall. There was actually a scene in Skyfall that looked very similar. I wonder if that was an inspiration for this scene. But what happened?
James Bond?
We'll see. You might see bits and pieces of it. It's still a little adult, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah,
I saw Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, I have a couple of Bond films I'd like you to see. I think you really enjoy them.
Let's go. Bond movie marathon weekend.
Oh boy. Okay. All right.
Get the popcorn.
Yeah.
Kids,
so
get the popcorn out.
Yes. Let's talk about. Okay. Let's talk about the casino scene. That was really cool, right?
Yeah, how Okoye just flipped her wig and just started throwing it, breaking people up.
Right.
Nakia is just flipping off tables. T'Challa is just in his Sunday best and punching people in the face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was well choreographed too and shot. I don't know if you noticed.
Speaking of shot, yeah, Everett Ross, bow.
Okay.
And Claw too. Everybody was firing at everybody else.
Yeah, it was no holds bar. Stuff broke out. But I was about to say about the shot, the direction of the scene, the fight scene. There is a scene actually where Ryan Coogler also did this in one of his other films, Creed, where he took the camera and there was no cuts, there was no edits, and the camera just followed the action. It was beautiful. So it was a wonderful scene. Again, yes, so things broke out. Claw showed up. Everett Ross was also there trying to get Claw, and things didn't go well. Claw tried to escape, and now we got this car chase in the streets of Busan. That was pretty cool.
And
Yep.
you know how it is. Black Panther kisses a villain,
Mhm.
and he almost has a John Walker moment because he's got Claw in his grips, and he's like, and then he's like had to hold himself back because everybody got their phones out.
Yeah, right.
See,
There are too many cameras out. Right. Yeah,
see, at
exactly.
least he knows that when there's eyes on you, you don't take lives.
That's true. That's true. So
Whereas John Walker just went, ah!
we were talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yep,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
poor man.
Yes, that was very interesting. All right, so let's get back to Black Panther. All right, so Claw is arrested. He's being interrogated by the CIA. In the meanwhile, um, Killmonger is planning to break Claw out of the holding cell, which he successfully does. So he gets out. Claw escapes.
Uh-huh.
All right. So now what happened in this, when this explosion took place, when Killmonger tried to get Claw out to escape, Ross is hurt.
Yep,
Right?
badly
Right.
shot in the spot.
Right.
So bad.
Right. And they had to act quickly because they didn't know, like, if they tried to, do anything with him, like take him to a hospital, he may not make it.
So they gave him one of those Kimoyo bees.
Kimoyo bees, right? Yes, right. State of the art. Placed it inside the wound, and then suggested to his fellow CIA agents to take Ross back to Wakanda so he can be healed. Right now, this was very important because this is the first time that T'Challa took action with bringing someone who is not from Wakanda back to his country. Yeah, back to his country. So,
but he trusts Ross.
Right. So, and he didn't. Right. And well, the reason, not only were they working together,
They
but
know
Ross
each other.
also saved Nakia's life because he was when the blast, the shots were firing, he saved Nakia, because she could have been hit.
Yeah, he kind of jumped in front of her.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. So we have a flashback, and then T'Challa finds out about Killmonger, the son of N'Jobu. And then, T'Challa realized that people that look like him in America are suffering due to a lack of resources. Black Americans don't have the tools to fight back, is what Killmonger is saying, and they can use the vibranium to defend themselves. T'Challa does not want to have any of that. So, the two of them are having this argument. Again, T'Challa doesn't want these weapons used against other people. But Killmonger makes a point where he feels that if his Black Americans were equipped, there would be less oppression, right? They'd be able to defend themselves. So, so when they found out that Killmonger actually got rid of Claw, right? Claw is gone, and takes him back to Wakanda. Killmonger says, you know what, I'm here for the throne because my father was the son of the last king, right? And he was
supposed to be king.
He was shut out, right, because of what happened, the incident. So we, like you said at the beginning, we saw the flashback of where N'Jobu actually fired, had a gun and aimed it at his brother, who was the king, and the king actually had to end his brother's life, right?
No, he put it in Zori and to protect Zori,
Right. So he was trying to protect Zuri, and so in defense of Zuri, Zuri was also there on the cover. So N'Jobu lost his life. All right. So Killmonger wants revenge, and he wants the throne. So he challenges T'Challa for the throne. Okay. And unfortunately, Killmonger wins, and T'Challa is left for dead. We don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, he just kind of gets stabbed and falls off a cliff.
The cliff. Right. And then Killmonger goes through the same ritual where he
took the heart shape. They buried him in the sand.
Yep, exactly.
And then he comes out.
Right.
And he gets to speak with his father.
Right. Now, this is interesting. Now, we had a conversation about this. Now, was he in the ancestral plane, or was he somewhere else? So you think he was? Okay. Right.
He was in the ancestral plane, just not with the ancestors.
Okay.
Because
All
he was
right.
with his father, who's technically his ancestor.
Well, that's true. That's true. So really, I was thinking that maybe he didn't make it to the ancestral plane because he was rejected by the ancestors. But instead, he showed up. I mean,
In a different place,
right.
at least.
He showed up in a different place. He actually showed up in his father's home, and the two of them had a conversation about feeling that they were left out of Wakanda. They're not. They were uninvited. They weren't allowed to be back there. They were left behind. But it's a controversial thing. People think at the ancestral plane. Maybe it was the ancestral plane, and it was just somewhere in another location, not exactly where T'Challa met his dad.
Yeah, but if you
Yeah.
look closely at the background,
Hmm.
you can see that he is actually on the ancestral plane because of that
The
purplish
sky.
tint, that sky tint.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So Killmonger breaks out of his sleep, and then he orders. The first thing he does is order all the heart-shaped herbs destroyed because he feels that there's not going to be another king because they're there for kings for the future, right? Future kings. But he's saying to them, well, there's going to be no other king. It's going to be just him. Destroy all this herb. Nakia, had the
Smart
vision.
idea to grab one.
Exactly, just to steal one, just in case.
But you know what though? They should have replanted that.
The one that she stole.
Yes.
You know what? I think maybe that's what they did eventually. That would make sense that they
Yeah,
have
but
one to
like,
plant. Well, actually,
if he
no,
burned
because
them all,
well, right, and the one that they used, the one that
they gave
Nakia
it to
used, they
T'Challa.
gave it to T'Challa. So
So
that
how
one is.
sure are you gonna become Black Panther?
That's a very good
Like, do
question.
they just have some sort of reservoir for sheep turds? Because that just seems sloppy.
I don't know. I would guess that they may have some type of way to create these herbs. I don't know. I don't know. But okay.
Anyway.
It's like okay. All right. So it turns out that T'Challa did survive, all right, and he was found
Lucky
by
him.
the Jabari tribe,
And they
and
brought
he was
him up.
being kept alive.
But barely was clinging
Yes,
on for dear life.
right, and like we said, the heart shape was given to him, and he got his
Kept him
strength
alive.
back.
He got to see his father one more time.
Yes, right, and this is a very interesting conversation with his father. He wanted to know the truth from his father, like why didn't his father tell him about Killmonger? Why was he left? Why did he leave this little boy after what happened to his father? Why did you leave this little boy behind?
All right, let's take a quick
Yeah,
break for Q&A.
sure.
Alex Q plus, do you think they may have some heart-shaped herb seeds left over somewhere?
That's a good point.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It does kind of seem like a bad case of lazy writing if they do. Like, I feel like they should have kind of wrote that in. Like, if Nakia stole 2 heart-shaped herbs, which she really should have, she should have picked like as many as she could about Killmonger noticing.
Hmm.
She should have just done that. I don't know though. They probably do. They're Wakandans.
Yeah.
These people, they make these flowers somehow.
I mean, they have the best resources in the world, right? So I can't believe that they wouldn't know a way to create the herb.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So I don't think we need to worry about that. So I think
Yeah,
they
they'll
have,
be back.
yeah, I think they have plenty of it. All right. So now T'Challa's back and he gets filled in as to what's going on with Killmonger as the new Black Panther. He goes to N'Baku and asks
M'Baku.
M'Baku to ask for help. M'Baku, the reason why he's been so adamant about the royalty, the throne, is that for generations, his family, T'Challa's family, never came to visit the Jabari tribe. They never, royalty never stopped in to see how they were doing, how things were going, and now
Well,
you
they were
want my.
strange though.
Well, I don't know.
I mean,
So
you
what did they?
can't just like cut yourself out the family and then expect said family to visit.
Yeah.
There's going to be hurt feelings.
Well, did they even try to make amends with the Jabari tribe?
The
We don't know.
Jabari tribe tried to make amends though, because they were the ones who walked out in the first place. You can't expect people to. You can't expect that you're gonna walk out and everybody's gonna be coming racing after you. Like, no, don't leave. The Wakandans were just kind of through with that because they didn't want to deal with the Jabari tribe,
Hmm.
and them, sorry, them leaving.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well that's a good point. I mean, we don't know what happened, but
Something to chew on.
yeah, sometimes with all of the, you know, the meetings and bringing the leaders together, sometimes you just can't agree on everything, and they just part ways, unfortunately. So the answer that M'Baku gives to T'Challa is that the answer is no. He will not help them, and so that was it. So
Yep.
all right, T'Challa walks away. Now back with the new Black Panther, Killmonger.
Quote unquote.
He has a plan that he wants to take this vibranium, take it from Wakanda, and ship it to places all over the world so people can use it to arm themselves, create weapons and use it to start a revolution.
Which
Right?
isn't a good idea.
No, it's not a good idea. Absolutely not a good idea.
You can't just give people like vibranium and expect that the honor system applies, because vibranium is like the most precious metal in the world.
Absolutely. And most people are not going to use it for good. They're not going to use it for good. So that was his idea. He wanted to make sure that his brothers, from all over the world, had the same resources that Wakanda has, that Wakanda did not want to share. All right.
Yeah.
So then, so we see these ships taking off, and then all of a sudden, one of them just drops from the sky, and then T'Challa appears, and he says, he didn't surrender the fight. He's still here. All right. So then we get this big, huge fight at the end.
Yeah.
Um, uh, yeah. And it really got really CGI at the end. To be honest.
Didn't the River Tribe turn on T'Challa?
Right. That was right. Yes, you're right. That's the there was a tribe that did turn on him. Um, uh, yeah, it was Okoye's boyfriend who at first was a friend to T'Challa, but now he was taking Killmonger's side, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right, exactly right. And then we see these mechanical rhinos come out.
They were mechanical. They were rhinos in armor.
There were what really? Okay, all right. So they came out, and there was this big battle taking place on the surface, and then you had Shuri and Nakia coming out.
Shuri gets this cool gauntlet.
Right, yeah, and they're defending, and they have the Dora Milaje also defending Wakanda, defending the king. Okoye takes a stand and says, "Well, my king is T'Challa. He is still here, so he's the man I'm going to defend," and that's what she did. And then now it was mano a mano. It was Killmonger versus T'Challa. So another big battle takes place underground near the it's like a subway or some kind of transportation center. T'Challa wins. Unfortunately, Killmonger is mortally wounded, and they have a conversation. All right.
Of course they do, because people love to talk on their deathbed.
Well, yeah. So, but this was very important. This, I think, was the best lines of the movie. So, Killmonger mentions that he never really had a chance to see Wakanda, because he was never back there that often, and so T'Challa took him to a place where he can see the horizon. And T'Challa says to Killmonger, "Well, we can help you." And Killmonger says, "No, just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from ships, because they knew death was better than bondage." And right there, as far as we know, his life ended. Killmonger. All right.
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's debatable.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I messed my head up.
Okay. And then, like T'Challa had a change of heart, and then he decided that he did want to do something more. He wanted to have Wakanda out there and give back to the community. So he takes a trip back to Oakland with Shuri.
Yep, and bought that apartment building that Njobu lived in.
Right, and turned it into a center, a Wakanda International Outreach Center. All right, for young people, disadvantaged youths. And then then the ship comes down, and you know, from
All these
nowhere,
kids
and these
playing
kids on the
basketball, like,
basketball
what?
court, never seen the ship before, have no idea who T'Challa is. Then we get the post-credit scene where T'Challa and Okoye Nakia are in the UN building, and they're giving a speech about Wakanda giving back to the rest of the world. And T'Challa says something else that was very important. He said, more connects us than separates us, but in times of crisis, the wise build bridges while the foolish build barriers. We must find a way to look after one another as if we were one single tribe.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. So that was powerful. And then that was pretty much the end of the
Movie.
that was the film. That was the end of the film. So Black Panther. So so the question I have is, does it still hold up? In my opinion, it does.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Black Panther, I think it's a timeless film, really.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good. And it's got
Until
good.
it becomes 30.99.
It's a good message of a film. I like that we get to see a black superhero. There's representation.
Yeah, this was the first black superhero in the MCU to get his own solo movie. Falcon technically predated Black Panther as of first appearances, but and so did War Machine. War Machine predated both of them,
Right.
but neither of them have
Led
solo
their own.
movies.
Exactly.
And Falcon got his own TV show, but he was sharing most of his screen time with Winter Soldier.
Understood. Yep. Yeah. And that's true. That's absolutely true. But it was amazing, when you were too young to know this, but in 2018, I mean, the buzz and the hype about this movie.
I was born in 2018. I was alive before 2018.
Yeah, well, I said, but you were young, so you may not remember this.
I was 6.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So please, again, let us know your thoughts about the film. What do you like about it? Who's your favorite character? Favorite part of the movie, your favorite moment in the film. But and you can also talk about what did you, when this film came out, what do you remember about the hype of this film? Because it seems like everywhere, Black Panther was being talked about because it was something that it was a film that most people have never seen before, an all black cast with black director and writer. It was fascinating. Just I want to go back and talk about Ryan Coogler a little bit, the director. This is only his third film, right?
Amazing, right?
Right. He's made 2 other films. They were very small films. They were independent films, but this was a big budget film. And he was given this project, and he did an astounding job. So let's talk about the numbers. So of course, Black Panther, when it came out, it was a success. The critics loved it. It was commercially successful. So it made Chadwick Boseman a mega superstar.
He was one of the most iconic actors of all time back when 2018 rolled around, and he still is to this day.
Yes, exactly. And he'll always be.
Google it if you don't believe me.
Yes. So the film domestically made $700 million. All right. It is currently number 6 domestic box office of all time. For worldwide grosses, this is all time worldwide. It is number 14 on the chart with $1.3 billion. $1 billion. Yes, $1 billion.
Oh my God, that's
$1.3 billion.
Right? Yes. 597,973.
Yes. All right. Let's invite people to participate.
Right, come on, guys.
Let's see. Do we have any Q&A? What Q&A do we have?
So 2 things from Alice. I love T'Challa's UN speech at the end.
Yes.
It's great and definitely a goal we should all work towards. And second, yeah, I agree with you both. It's a timeless film with great characters, important themes, and solid acting.
Yes, absolutely.
One of the best, if not the best, MCU films.
I agree.
Did you know the highest grossing film of all time is Avatar? Seconded only by Avengers Endgame.
Yeah. All right. Let's stay on Black Panther. Okay.
And I can't believe 6 is Spider-Man No Way Home. Come on, guys.
Okay. All right. So, this film, Black Panther, appeared on many top 10 lists, right? Including the National Board of Review, the American Film Institute.
Sure, it was on Billboard for quite a while.
Sure. Yeah. And then Black Panther was nominated for 7 Academy Awards, right? Best Picture, the first superhero film ever to be nominated for Best Picture, right? Okay. And
What?
yeah, that's true.
I
The
didn't
first.
know that.
Yes, the first. And so far the only one. There has been no other superhero film superhero film nominated for Best Picture as of yet.
Wow.
So that the other nominations were Best Production Design, Best Costume Design, Best Original Score, Best Original Song, Kendrick Lamar's song, All the Stars, Best Sound, Best Editing, Best Sound Editing, and Best Sound Mixing. It won 3 Academy Awards for production design. Hannah Beachler was the first African American to be nominated in that category. Best costume design was Ruth Carter, right?
Best
And
original score was Ludwig
does
Göransson.
that name sound familiar, Ludwig?
The
There you
Mandalorian.
go, the Mandalorian, Boba Fett. You know,
Boba Fett.
yeah, he's a very talented composer.
I can play that on my flute. Why don't we run that right now?
Okay.
Just kidding, we don't have time.
And all 3 of these Oscar winners
Are
will
returning.
return
Ryan
for
Coogler
Wakanda.
directed again.
Yes.
Kendrick Lamar was singing in the trailer.
Yes, I believe Kendrick will be singing new songs. Yep, performing new songs. So a majority of the people are coming back for Black Panther 2. You know, so
I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. Black Panther's the 14th highest grossing movie of all time, making $1.3 billion. So come back.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a wonderful cast of people. So it's you know it's going to be interesting. It's good. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to see it. Let's see if we have any more Q&A.
Yep.
What do we have?
Alex, wow, I thought The Dark Knight would have been nominated, but
So
I
did
guess
I.
not.
Yeah.
I'm glad Black Panther got nominated and wish it won the Best Picture award. I do too. I think it was completely unfair that Black Panther didn't win the Best Picture award.
Yeah, but it's always
Wait, who won? Let me.
Well,
just
it's a movie
Google it.
called, I can tell you, there's a movie called Green Book.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, well, have you seen Green Book?
What's that about?
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So it did not win, which is fine. But the fact that it made history, it made history. You know. So again, so this is it's a wonderful film. I just remember, just going back to the hype and the excitement that people were so excited. I'm talking about these kids in these inner cities. I saw a YouTube video of these students when they were told that someone bought them tickets to go see the movie. They were dancing on their desk and on the chairs, and they were singing. It was wonderful. People were creating GoFundMe pages to raise money for other kids to go see the film. So this movie was very important to a lot of people. It brought a lot.
I'm sure you've seen the YouTube memes that came around when people found out that the Little Mermaid was going to be black, and I am so glad. Like, finally, we get to see some diversity in Disney.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Representation. Yeah, is very important. So, and then what it did was not just brought people of color to see the film, but everyone saw it. All people saw it, which is why it's so big. It's one of the biggest movies of all time. So we are looking forward to Wakanda Forever. We're only a couple of weeks away. Let's get any final comments or questions that we have.
All in the game.
Welcome.
With the first Black Panther movie in production at the same time as Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Mm-hmm.
It got shortchanged in terms of the amount of time that the VFX teams got to work on the movie.
Very
relative to those other 3 movies.
Yeah.
I'm glad they saw it as a priority to rectify that this time around with BPWF, Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. So let's talk about the visual effects, because one of the criticism that this film has.
The one thing I will say is it got real heavy on CGI at the end. And the CGI kind of got a little bad because you could tell it was CGI.
Yeah.
But for the majority of the movie, when it wasn't relying heavily on CGI, it was so great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you cut the CGI, the story itself is enough to make you want to rewatch it 1,000 times.
Exactly, right. And I love the practical effects. That chase scene in the streets of Busan, the car chase was wonderful. I think they do a lot better just doing practical effects like that, where they're using real cars and they have these stunt people, like a James Bond movie. Like a James Bond movie don't use CGI, right? They use actual stunts. They have cars that are rigged. They hire the best stunt people. I think Black Panther needs to follow that. And I think we see that. We saw like a motorcycle chase scene, and there was another car scene. in the trailer for Wakanda Forever. And you're right. So maybe there will be a big improvement on the CGI this time. Like
Not
maybe
that it
less.
needs one.
Yeah, like maybe less of it. But maybe they have a bigger budget for visual effects. But
I
we'll
think
see.
they do. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, that's going to be exciting to see. So anyone who's listening or watching right now, do you have your tickets? Do you have your tickets already for Wakanda Forever? When are you going? Let us
By the
know.
way, if not, buy CGI, buy tickets now because like they will sell out. I'm pretty sure they already have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's only a few weeks away, okay?
Yeah, you're a little unlucky if you don't have your tickets
Yeah.
right now because they're probably sold out.
Well,
Right.
Well, okay. It's all hope is not lost. All right.
On the
They,
game, they're
mhm.
using water tanks in Black Panther Wakanda Forever as opposed to full CGI for underwater scenes.
That's great to know.
Wow, well that means there won't be dialogue in the water scenes then because you can't talk underwater.
Well, okay. Well, the point is that they're not using CGI to create the
Yeah,
water.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, because otherwise, like, I think the way that works is basically you'd have to be attached to rigs and in front of a green screen and shoot it that way, which is a little time consuming, but you could do it.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. So, like we said, Black Panther is about 3 weeks away, Wakanda Forever. There are other things that we're planning to do in regards to, getting ready for the film to come out. We don't have anything solid as of yet. We're still working on some ideas to talk further about Black Panther. But when we have the
we don't really have
information,
any predictions.
right? So when we have some information, we'll let you know. But for next week, once again, so we'll be back on Wednesday for episode 8
of Andor.
Okay.
You'll bring up our poll as well.
Yes. So you want to tell people about the poll? Yeah.
Let me just pull it up real quick.
Well,
so we recently posted, another poll about, Andor, just asking people who their favorite characters were, and we posted an hour ago. We already got 8 votes, so we will bring up the votes on our next episode. On Wednesday.
Idea. All right. Excellent idea. Oh, you got people already voting.
Yeah,
Great.
if you want to see it yourself, you can check out our community page.
Wonderful.
Check regularly.
All right.
We'll post new content every once in a while, usually weekly.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. And then also dropping on Wednesday, Tales of the Jedi, right? 6 episodes, 6 shorts. We're also going to review that as well. We're planning for Thursday to do that. We may break it up between Ahsoka and Count Dooku, but again, when the time gets a little bit closer, we'll let you know. Do we have any more comments or questions, comments, everyone? Okay, so I think we're done. So this has been fun. I enjoy watching Black Panther. It's a well-made film. You can tell the people there, you put a lot of heart and soul into this film, and it's not just a mindless superhero film. It's a film with a message. So we can't wait to continue to talk about it up to the new film coming out November the 11th. All right, so thank you very much. We have another Q&A.
Right. All in the game again. Writing/acting on Andor is on another level relative to other Star Wars content.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is. I 100% agree. I am loving Andor. I'm enjoying the characters and also enjoying the writing. So yeah, absolutely all in the game. I agree with you. I can't wait for episode number 8. All right.
All right, Alex.
Yes.
I'm excited for your Andor reaction. You both do a great job. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
And I agree. Black Panther is a great film with a great message.
Yes. Thank you.
On the game again. Just that Black Panther Wakanda Forever looks even more assured given what the cast crew have gone through.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's going to be powerful to see. But
I hope the movie's not sad.
Yeah. Look, Wakanda Forever is the most anticipated film of the year, so it's got it's high, it's high stakes for this movie, and I don't have any doubt that it won't be just as entertaining as the first one. So I just can't wait to see it and talk about it. But so we'll be back again next week, everyone. So we really appreciate you tuning in. Of course, we know you can be doing anything else, but just thank you for just spending just a few minutes with us. We enjoy it. We'll be back next week. So until next time, take care
And we will see you
And
again.
I was off.
We were
Good.
supposed to say it at the same time.
Supposed to say it at the
All
same
right,
time.
let's
All right.
redo that.
Yep.
You will forget this happened.
All right. All right. So until next time, take care.
And we will see you again. There it is.